to another edition of Beyond the Sideline. I'm joined today by fellow Emory basketball alum, Dumebi Egbuna. Dumebi was a 2-year member of the women's basketball team before she made the difficult decision to walk away from the basketball court and focus on her studies. In those 2 years, however, she saw significant individual success and was no stranger to double-digit scoring and rebounding performances in her freshman and sophomore campaigns. After receiving her undergraduate degree in business administration, marketing, and strategic consulting from Emory's Goizueta Business School in 2018, Dumebi went on to accept a position with IBM, where she's currently employed. What's even more impressive is that she's also managed to co-found Chezie, formerly known as Dyversifi, which is an employee-centered review company that helps workers with various social identities share and learn about what it's like to work at some of the nation's largest companies. So I'll let her tell the rest herself. So without further ado, Dumebi, welcome to Beyond the Sideline.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course. So we'll start a little bit, with your playing days back at Emory. So I know
a minute ago.
Yeah. They actually are. But yeah, what's your favorite memory of your time with Emory basketball?
Yeah, I think I just loved hanging around my teammates. Like when I was there, Sarah Arrington, Eileen Sow were both juniors and seniors, like my sophomore year, and they were just very instrumental in one, welcoming me into the Emory community, but then two, they were the ones who were always bringing the team together, whether it be let's go out or let me host a team bonding thing. They were just always bringing people together. And now I look back on that experience and I gained sisters through that. They will be forever friends, which I'm really appreciative for. And then obviously playing, I miss games. I don't miss practices as much, but competing was always, fun too.
Yeah. So then what was the biggest adjustment you had to make, after the conclusion of your college career?
Yeah. I would say, because when you're playing basketball at that level, it takes up so much time. Your schedule is pretty much accounted for in terms of going to class and going to the gym to do your pre-workout stuff, having practice, weights, going to post-workout stuff, doing the ice baths and shit, and then going to do your homework. But once I quit, there was so much free time, and I almost didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
And still wanting to be productive, still wanting to stay in shape or do all this stuff, but it was just you have to figure all that stuff out yourself. It's not, forced on you. So I think my biggest adjustment was just trying to find ways to fill that time.
Yeah.
Which I guess I did, but it was definitely a switch.
Right. Yeah. No. When I came back from abroad, and it's kind of stopped, I was like, none of this stuff's figured out for me anymore.
Right.
I have to go create my own workouts and go to the gym myself. But
Ben.
Yeah, exactly. I texted Ben a bunch of times when I got home to draw me up something,
right?
Or just send me what you send the players. But on the other side of that, it was okay, well, I have no excuses now to not get stuff, to not get what I need to get done out of the way. So yeah, where did life lead you? In those first few months after undergrad.
Yeah, you touched on it. I took a job with IBM. I guess my summer before my senior year, I interned with IBM doing digital sales, which sucked. It was cold calling people and unanswered emails and all these things. And then, they offered me a full-time position and I was like, I'll come work for y'all, but I just don't want to that's not a position for me. I don't see myself staying in an office all day, sitting at a desk. I'd much rather be doing client-facing work, traveling. And they offered me a solution sales position, which was much more suited for me. So now I've been, at IBM for 2.5 years. I'm the North America sales leader for data and AI. So I work with all of our distributors, do a lot of business development and strategy, which I love. And it's much more of just how my brain works.
Yeah.
Usually. So definitely found a role that was much more suited for my personality type.
Mm-hmm. Is that what brought you to Chicago?
Yeah. Well, I was in Atlanta for a year post-grad working at IBM. And I think I was just tired of doing the same thing, hanging around the same people, going the same places. And I think just me. I don't like feeling stagnant. I definitely started to feel stagnant and kind of like stuck while I was in Atlanta. And luckily my job had been bringing me to Chicago a couple times during that year. And I was like, damn, I really like this city. It's like no offense to New Yorkers, but it's like to me, a nicer New York, like a more sophisticated, like slowed down New York, which I appreciated. So I was like, I went to my manager at the time and he was like, as long as you can get your work done, you can move kind of wherever. So it was more of a personal decision more so than like a work decision, but it paid off.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And tell us about Chezie and how that idea came about.
Yeah, so you kind of touched on it. Chezie is an anonymous career review platform for minorities. I think we just kind of figured that minorities in the workplace, we have totally different experiences than our, white non-minority counterparts. And so it's just, we wanted to create a community for diverse professionals and students to share their stories, but also learn from the experiences of others. Both my brother and I, we work in corporate America and we've been through, being the only Black people in a room, being the only minority in a room. I remember I went to a conference and I was literally, there were like 5,000 people at this conference and I saw maybe, 3 Black women. And I was like, Jesus, like, I wonder if they're feeling the same way that I'm feeling. And then also it was just a matter of like, how do we get more minorities into the corporate space? So Toby and I kind of came together and we're talking about our individual experiences and kind of what we wanted to do in order to help out. And this is kind of what, came to be in terms of like creating this community. So it's been cool.
Yeah. I was trying to explain it to one of my friends and I was like, it's like rate my professor, lawyer, and you have to be a minority of some sort.
A little bit of a LinkedIn. Yeah. But no, I mean, I can tell you how it works. It's like, if you're a professional, you can go on, you submit your portrait, which is like your characteristics or your demographic information. So age, gender, sexual orientation, race, disability status, veteran status. And then once you fill that out, you fill out your story, which like we give you a couple prompts and you can kind of just tell us about your experience. And then on the flip side, like a job seeker can go on and look at the experiences of people who identify similarly to them. So like as a Black woman, I can go on and sort the other stories by other Black women because I think, our experiences are going to be more closely aligned.
Yeah. Wow, that's really cool.
Thank you.
And so you mentioned your brother Toby, and so you guys are both founding members. Is this something that you guys kind of envisioned and worked on for a long time, or did it, just appear?
It kind of just appeared. Like entrepreneurship was not on my radar at all. Like I always, coming out of Emory, I was like, okay, I'm going to go like, climb the corporate ladder at some company, wherever that may be. And then I think just like as I was navigating like this career life and like talking to him about it, we were both like, this is actually something that's very doable and it's something that we can like execute on. So like, why don't we just try it? He's 26, I'm 24. So we were like, if this doesn't work out or if this doesn't pan out, like we still have the rest of our lives to, go to like the more practical, route of climbing the corporate ladder, or like trying to get into a leadership position. But for now, like this is something that we're really passionate about and like we think could scale and like hopefully be big. So
what's it like working alongside family? It's got to be an interesting dynamic.
People always ask this. I've enjoyed it. I don't think I would have done this with anyone else, honestly.
Really?
We know each other so well since we've like grown up together. So it's just like, we know how to communicate. We know how to like work together in that sense. I will say it's definitely brought out like our different personalities and it's like very clear. He's like more type A, very much like here are the goals. This is how we're going to execute on it. Like, let's be very disciplined. And I am more so like, like, let's just, let's go with the flow. Like, obviously, like, want to work hard. I obviously want to execute, but like, I'm definitely less regimented, I guess. And I guess I'm better at like giving ourselves grace and just like looking back and being like, look how far we've come in this short amount of time. Like, look at what we've accomplished. Where he's more so like, I don't care about that. Like, let's keep, pushing forward. So we balance each other out in that way.
For sure. Is there anybody else who was real instrumental in kind of making that vision come to life?
Yeah, we've definitely had a lot of mentors along the way because we're both, first-time founders. We didn't even know like what we didn't know. So like everything from like, trying to trademark the name or like tax advice or like how do we get a growth marketing strategy that'll help us scale quicker. We've definitely picked up a lot of help along the way, and so many people are willing to help. Like so many people that have gone through like the entrepreneurship grind before, like here is what I learned. Like let me give you these tips and like advice so you don't have to like go through the same struggle. Which has been really helpful. Like I can't even name them all, but there have been a lot of people who have, contributed to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so what steps are you guys taking now to kind of further grow Chezie?
Yeah. We're trying to do a lot of things. We are trying to partner with a lot of like-minded organizations, a lot of, organizations that are committed to empowering minorities, especially in like the tech corporate space. So doing like a lot of events, doing a lot of programming for their participants, different things. We are trying to apply to an accelerator right now. So like accelerators are essentially like incubators. So you work on your project for 3 months, they invest a certain amount of money. And then hopefully by the time you come out of the accelerator, you have a really fleshed out idea that you can go pitch to like real investors. So I think, money would really help us a lot right now. And just like the mentorship that comes with an accelerator program. So a lot of things in the works, I would say, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay. And have you found time kind of outside of your professional responsibilities to stay around and enjoy the game like of basketball anymore? Is your student athlete days like,
No, honestly, even after I quit, I stayed around the game. I didn't play as much, but definitely still enjoy like watching it. Toby used to play, or he walked on to UNC, so I've always been like a UNC fan. And after I quit, UNC was pretty good, and then like the last couple of years they've been trash. But definitely enjoyed watching them play. And then while I was still at Emory, definitely went to the women's basketball games and tried to support that way. So.
Have you gotten out to a Bulls game?
I haven't, no.
Oh, wow.
But the Bulls are trash, so I'm kind of like, do I need to go?
Sure. And who do you have March Madness, men's and women's side? Who do you have?
I'm picking Michigan for the men's side.
Okay.
I think I'm going with Louisville for the women's side.
Louisville. Okay. All right. So we'll have to circle back and see.
We'll see how that ends up.
Yeah. So where can our viewers go to learn more about Chezie?
Yeah, if you want to become a part of our community, you can become a member at chezie.co, and then follow us on Instagram at ChezieHQ.
Absolutely. So D, those are all the heavy hitters I have for you. We got a few quick hitters, and then we can send you on your way.
Okay, cool.
All right. So first one's a hard one. Okay. Favorite quote.
Favorite quote?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You can paraphrase if you don't have it committed to memory. Most people don't.
Well, this was just a piece of advice that I got from someone, and it was like, they don't know you want it until you ask. And I think like just as like, maybe it's just me as like a Black woman, like I've just always, I don't want to say dimmed my light, but like didn't necessarily ask for things that I think I deserve. But now I'm like very used to being like, hey, whether it be like a raise or a promotion or like, hey, will you help me? Like I'm just very good at like asking for, what I think I need or deserve.
Yeah. We might have to change this question to favorite proverb or something like
that.
Okay. That works a little better. But absolutely, yeah. Closed mouths don't get fed.
Right.
Squeaky wheel gets spoiled. There's plenty of ways you can say it. So your dream 3-day music festival, right? Mm-hmm. You have 3 headliners. Who are they going to be?
Ooh. Damn, I was just telling someone about this. Like, I really want like a new school R&B music festival. So like, I'm trying to see Jhené Aiko.
Jhené, cool. I think you're the first person to give me Jhené.
Okay. I'm trying to see SZA.
SZA, okay. Jersey.
Is she from Jersey? I didn't know that.
Maybe.
And I really fucked with Jasmine Sullivan's latest album.
Okay,
So
yeah. I actually really like that album as well. Really good album. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So yeah, new school R&B. So when you said new school R&B, I thought you were gonna go Brent. I thought that was gonna be, he actually came up a lot.
Okay.
He's come up a lot as we've done those.
I was gonna say like Vivian too, but I just couldn't.
Oh yeah,
couldn't decide.
I have to add that one to my list. So these questions might be a little harder for you because, like you said, those playing days are way in the back of your mind here. But your favorite road arena to play in?
I kind of want to say Wash U.
Wash, yeah. Nice.
Because one, we never beat them, at least while I was playing, and then two, they always had a really good women's program, and I feel like the fans were always there, which was a luxury considering we didn't always have a good fan base at home or wherever we were. So I would say Wash U. It was just a competitive game. It was fun. It was a good atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. So kind of similar question here. Your favorite road city to travel to?
Probably New York. I feel like we always got the ability to like walk around New York. We didn't always get that in all the cities, but like they always kind of let us roam in New York. So that was always fun.
Yeah, I liked New York. So obviously, I'm from Jersey, being near there. But it was freezing up there.
It was always cold. We always only had like sweatsuits on, but
right. We're travel suits.
But it was cool.
That one and Chicago I really liked, and we kind of got that the leeway to I guess walk around a little bit in Chicago, but it's way too cold. Like I could not be being right off the water right there. It was not ideal.
Now that I live here, I'm like, we were not doing that right. Like we didn't have the gloves, we didn't have the jacket.
Yeah, right. No, not at all. Those little tight travel sweatshirts.
Right.
Wasn't doing it. And then your last one, I don't want to hang you out to dry here, but we usually go favorite teammate, to just kind of hang out with.
Favorite teammate. That's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so close with a lot of them. I would say me and Michaela were just always on the same wave when it came to anything, practice, games, whatever. I would also say Eileen, just because me and her had a post guard kind of connection. And I think just me, the first week I was at Emory, she kind of took me under her wing. So Mick or Eileen, I would say.
Nice. Okay, well that's all I have for you today, Dumebi. Again, thank you for coming on. Like I mentioned, I wanted to have you on a long time ago, but I front loaded with the Emory basketball alums kind of heavy, so I had to give it some time.
I didn't even know if I qualified as an alum. I was like, I'm not quitters on here, so.
I'm trying to let that dissipate, but again, appreciate you coming on and sharing about Chezie. For our viewers, again, you guys can log on and see about it yourself on chezie.co or follow them on Instagram at, what was it, Chezie HQ, you said?
Yep.
So, all right. Well, again, Dumebi, thank you. Appreciate you taking the time out, and best of luck to you and Toby going forward.
Thank you.